And we are live in all of the places.
Okay. We are ready to go?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let people in the room. We'll
Okay.
kick things off. Hello, everybody.
Hey, it was my turn. Sorry.
Hey, I'm going to let you do the intro. I need 2 minutes, okay?
Okay. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Raj.
Good morning.
How are you?
Ready?
It's cold in Arizona today. That's why I have my warm jacket on.
Oh my goodness. That's unusual, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I said, hey, Raj, I don't know if you heard me or not, but hello.
How are you doing, Wayne? How are you?
Am I alive? How are you?
Yes, very well. Thank you. Can hear you.
Good, good.
Yes.
Hi, Dora. Say hi. Come off camera if you want to, or just say hello to me. That was my grandmother's name, Dora. Love that name. Steve, hello. Good to see you.
I think Dora's audio is still connecting with us.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And iPhone 10. Good morning, iPhone 10, whoever that is. Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's happening, Wayno?
Well, we are getting ready to give some good information today. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my other computer's restarting with an update. I'm at like 35%. It's gonna be a while. One of those Microsoft deals, man.
That's right.
So I jumped on my Mac. Reliable.
Yeah, I always love when I do the update and it's like load a bunch of stuff on my computer I don't need. So okay, go ahead.
Exactly.
Hello, Matt. How are you, sir?
Mr. Ivy.
Mr. Ivy.
There's Daya. How are you?
Daya? Hello?
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Outstanding. Thank you for coming on camera. Appreciate it. Are you a newbie here?
Relatively, yes.
Okay. Well, congratulations and welcome. We're glad you're here. We're going to hear some good information today. And it is now 2:00, so I think we're going to go ahead and start. This is Bertie from Huntington Beach. Well, hello, Bertie. Good to see you. Good to have you here. So, my name is Wayne Clayton, and you're with me today on this program on 12/9/24 on the AI powered productivity tools and techniques. And I'm watching Day as either a feather duster or a cat. I can't figure out which one that is. I'm assuming it's a cat since it's kind of moving on its own. So
she couldn't decide where she wanted to be. So here
she's welcome to join us. So today, I'm not normally the host here, and I host the Wednesday night call, which we talk about the AI blueprint for your consulting business. We talk a lot about business development and sales and marketing, but really, how do you get leads? How do you generate leads? How do you sell those leads? What do you do to develop business? Because that's the reason we're all here, is to develop our business. So I appreciate that you're here today. And just to let you know, we're going to go ahead and start with our program because let's start and share. Okay. So we have today's program is let's do this here. Sorry. Come on. There we go. All right, so our interactions, you see the little icons down there, so you can do all kinds of good interactions, and I appreciate it if you kind of interact and keep the pace going here. I love that. Raise your hand if you've got a question. I'll do my best to watch for it. Megan also watches for it too. And the other thing is, if you're off camera, if you would please turn on your camera. That would be very helpful because we love to see smiling faces and we love to see those that frown because I want to see what you don't like. I want to see maybe what you don't understand. That helps me as a trainer and as an educator and really just as an overall marketer to understand what I teach, what I do, and if it's working. So today we're going to talk about Copilot. Just in case you guys haven't heard about it, it's going to be on your lips, I guarantee you, in the next year. And, when it comes down to it, we have all kinds of opportunities in front of us. We have ChatGPT, we have Claude, we have Perplexity, we have Gemini, we have all these different, we have, we were going to have Amazon, but now Amazon's using Claude because Amazon's product came out so terribly that they converted to Claude AI now for their AI. And there's all kinds of opportunity and competition. And you'll see people that will, and I'm getting it now. I'm getting people going, okay, Wayne, all right, I got it. You like this Copilot? No, it's business, because let me tell you why. If you have a desktop, that's what people want. They want that real estate on your desktop. They want to get on that desktop. They want to stay on that desktop. So ChatGPT is doing it. Claude's trying to do it. Perplexity's trying to do it. ChatGPT came out with a desktop app now. So all these people are trying to get on your desktop. And if you do something with ChatGPT or any of the other platforms, what you're going to try to do is you're going to come up with a prompt. You're going to get some information. And then what are you going to do with it? Well, chances are you're going to highlight, copy it, paste it, and put it into probably Microsoft Word. Microsoft products are on 50% of the population's computers or more. Most all new computers that come today have an automatic free version of Microsoft Office, or M365 as they call it. So you have the opportunity of using their product whether you want to or not, because it's even in the operating system of Windows. So that's why when I look at from a business point of view, they have a leg up over almost everybody else, because they are already on your desktop in one way or another. So I'm not going to argue with it. And I understand that Copilot is threaded through all of their products. They all work together. They're all made to work together. And and if you don't know, Copilot is basically an AI assistant. So you've heard of AI agents. So imagine a bunch of AI agents banding together, and that's what becomes your AI assistant. So for 2025, the phrase of the year is going to be AI assistant. I guarantee you, it is going to be all over the place. Everybody's going to be talking about it, and a lot of people are going to start using it. So that's why when I get into talking about it, I just know it's going to be there. I'm looking at, what do I have? Like this morning, I got up at 5 a.m. and I was on a training for Microsoft, because that's when that training was offered. And the other time they trained for that, I was already scheduled with an appointment. So I'm learning everything I can about Microsoft Copilot, because so many people have it on their desktop. So many people have it in Word, in Excel, and all the other products, but they don't know how to use it. Or if they do know how to use it, they use it just a tiny bit. So I see a huge opportunity for us as marketers, as chief AI officers, of having another great quill in our arrow in our quill, rather, to say, okay, I can show you how this works. I can teach and train you. I can show you how to get the productivity out of that, because you have a lot of sunk costs in those platforms already. And a lot of people are using, if they're using Word and they're using Windows, they bought it already. So there's no wondering whether or not they're going to buy it. It's already sold. Now it's just a matter of whether or not they want to use the free version of Copilot, or do they want to up to the pro version, which is $20 a month. So, and if you remember, the platform that Copilot uses for its AI is ChatGPT. So they're getting the best of ChatGPT because they've made some improvements on it. So we're going to talk today about that. We're going to show you some information. In fact, I've got some video I'm going to share with you that came straight from Microsoft. It was on a training, actually I did yesterday morning. So I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to help you understand the best I can from what it is I see we're doing, and how I see the market I think is going to unfold. So if I can find my right screen here, I think this is it.
Wayne, can I ask a quick question?
Certainly, go ahead.
Obviously, Microsoft's got majority of the market, and we all use it. But what about the Gemini and Google Workspaces? Basically, it appears to me from playing with them both that they're both set up the same way. They're designed to work within their environments. and work well integrated with all of their applications?
Okay, that's a great question. My opinion, I've seen Google shoot themselves in the foot more than any other major corporation in the world. They can take a great thing, everybody likes it, enjoys it, and now all of a sudden they wake up one day and they go, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore, and they shut it down. I don't know why they do it. They have too much money, too much business, whatever it is. I've just seen, I mean, think about it. The beginning of what we do with ChatGPT, with AI, where did it start? Over at the guys at Google. They didn't really capitalize on it. They just kind of got it, developed it, and they said, huh, it's kind of cool. Put it off to the side. Let's do some other stuff. So I think having a major focus like I believe that Microsoft has taken all this money that they had in other projects, pulled it together now, and they're putting it behind Copilot. I think they realize that they have, since they're on desktops, they're on people already use their products. So, I don't have to train somebody how to use Word. They already know how to use Word. I'm going to show them a new way of using Word and get some incredible productivity out of it that they hadn't experienced before. That is what they're not going to get with Gemini. They might, I don't know. I know some people that use Gemini. I know some people, I mean, I use Gemini, but I know some people that use just the Google products, but they're just,
Yeah, but will Copilot read, or Copilot is not going to give you an email, for instance, in Google. Copilot's not going to show up there. You're going to get Gemini because it's a Google product.
right. You're right. Unless they write an app, I don't know, but I don't know if those guys are going to play together or not.
I'm just curious how much we need to really learn about both of them, I think, individually, because we're going to hit with both of them in
Well,
different areas and different.
Great question, because who's your market? I know my market doesn't use Google. They probably have Microsoft products. So I'm going to go where the market's already got their sunk cost, which is going to be Microsoft products, and they're using Microsoft. And so I'll do the others too. But to me, there's a lot more opportunity
Oh, I
for
agree.
for Microsoft, I believe, right now. Now, it may change. As you know, it's an arms race. 1 week it's this person, the next week it's that person, and who knows? And then this person comes out with something totally different, and come to find out they all were working on it too, so they all kind of follow suit real quick. So I don't know. I would love to see what's actually going to happen, but we will see, right? So
And how many of us here have both? I have Google Docs I use, and I don't use OneDrive, just where I started using them, so I didn't feel like moving them.
yeah.
So some of us are kind of stuck in the middle too.
Yep, we are. And no doubt. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you there. So it's just, what do we do? Well, we do the best we can. And I just, all I'm going to do is there's so many hours in a day, and I'm going to try to follow that money line the best I can, that money trail, as best I can, with the maximum amount of impact and the least amount of, I want to say effort, because it's still a lot of work. But I think the smart money is going to go after right now where it's all at, which is what's on the desktop and what's normally being used. I think Google products, I think they're outliers. I think, yeah, you can make money with them. You can make money teaching people how to use Claude. But it's not chat cheap. So it's like the .com. You can have a .net and a .org, and people always, they hear your name, they type in the company name, and they always go to .com because it's just kind of hardwired with us. So I think that's the advantage that Microsoft has, in my opinion. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? I'd be glad to hear what you have to say, because hey, I certainly don't have the wisdom that everybody in this room has. So go ahead and share if you have any thoughts or opinions on it. If not, we will move forward. There we go. Okay. All right, everybody. So let's go ahead and move forward to, this is the video that was shared with me today, or yesterday, actually. So you guys can see that screen. So we're going to go ahead and start. This is, it's a little long, but we're going to get into, watch the video. This is going to tell you about Microsoft Copilot. This is from Microsoft. The guy does a funny little dance at the beginning, actually. But it does get into and tells you about Microsoft Copilot. Then we are going to get into a smart cut, because I've actually taken one of our smart cuts and ran it through Copilot for my business. So I'll share that with you, and we can sort of see what that turns into. Okay, here we go.
Today we're here to talk about M365 Copilot. And before we do, let's watch this short video segment to kind of kick things off.
Whoa. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Stand still, the motto, yeah. Brand new plans for the auto. Oh, foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Y'all talk lots, never just quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Ball full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big. Said it, never had a shout in. They said I couldn't never do it, okay, how to? Bit a week worth of work in a minute. Machine well oiled, you know how I stay efficient. Do this written, I do this different. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't finished. Okay. Flows the same now. Paved the way, the snakes and fakes are chased out. Back to back to back. I changed the pace now. Had to stack the catch until the bank's out. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop.
I love that video segment. Collaborate, co-design, co-visualize. Copilot will change the way that you fundamentally do business. Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Nowhere is that mission more clearly defined than in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Microsoft 365 Copilot will make every person in your organization able to achieve more, whether they work in marketing or operations, sales, finance, the executive team, human resources, or data and IT. Microsoft 365 Copilot will help them be more productive, more creative, and more collaborative. Microsoft 365 Copilot is made up of 4 key components. The 4 key components are, first, the large language model. The large language model, or GPT, is there to provide information and insights in a generative form based on a model that was trained using the internet as its source. GPT models are very, very capable and very, very powerful. However, they don't include your company's data. And that's for good reason. The second part, or some secret sauce, if you will, to the Microsoft 365 Copilot platform is something called Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph is an API that allows us to ground a chat conversation in our company's private data. It effectively adds the capability to use generative AI in a large language model with our company's private data and maximize the security of that data. With Microsoft Graph, Graph will honor the permissions and the governance settings that are associated with your company's data so that only the users who have permissions to see that data can actually use it in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Microsoft 365 Copilot is a set of features that is embedded in the Microsoft 365 applications. It is not a separate application that you install. Instead, you simply purchase the licenses for M365 Copilot, and the features show up in the M365 apps. Now, those M365 apps might be on the local machines. They might be web-based M365 apps. Microsoft 365 Copilot is available in both locations. Here is a beautiful graphic, and this is Megan in the middle. Megan is our user of the day. And let's use this to discuss Microsoft Graph just a little bit more and talk to you about how that secret sauce actually works. Megan is an employee. Megan reports to a manager. Megan also has a team that report to her. Megan has documents that she creates and manages and uses: PowerPoint, Word, Excel. She uses OneNote. She has an email box in Exchange in Microsoft 365. She uses Outlook to interact with her mail. She works with Teams. She goes to Teams meetings and works in Teams chats on a regular basis. Microsoft Graph is the API that helps to ensure that Megan gets access to the files, the people, the applications, and the storage that Megan has permission to use. It also ensures that the governance that is applied to documents inside of our organization will continue to be respected. And so if there is a file, for example, that has been marked as highly confidential, and Megan does not have access to that document, then Megan will not be able to see it or use it in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Microsoft Graph is how we ensure that your data remains secure and compliant with your governance choices inside of Microsoft. If Copilot is new to you, you may consider beginning your journey at a place called Copilot Lab. As we work with Copilot, you're going to be issuing prompts and waiting for responses from Copilot. And this is very different than what we've done in the past. All of you are familiar with search. Search is what we started doing back in, say, 1993. And we all learned how to write these very short 1 or 2 word searches to help us find websites. Today, that's not the way we work. When it comes to Copilot, we're writing oftentimes paragraph-long prompts to help us get access to information from a large language model. The Copilot Lab is a great place to start your journey and to use some of those curated prompts. Microsoft is completely committed to responsible AI practices. You can see on the screen the 6 responsible AI components: fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. I want to spend just a minute here talking about privacy and security. At Microsoft, Copilot is our second priority. Our first priority is security. As you work with Copilot in Microsoft 365, you need to be aware that your data is your data. Your data will not be used to train an OpenAI public GPT model. It is private. Your data is protected by the most comprehensive enterprise compliance and security controls in the industry. Security is our #1 priority. Copilot follows closely behind. As we work together today, I want to start working with you on something called the art of the prompt. When we prompt Copilot, we need to make sure that our prompt contains the 4 components necessary to get great results from Copilot. Those 4 components are the goal, the context, the source, and the expectation. If you think about a prompt, if we will help Copilot know exactly what it is that we want, Copilot has a very much higher chance of responding in a way that we desire. So perhaps our goal is to do some research with Copilot. Copilot, I want to do some market research. Copilot, I want to do some financial research. Copilot, I want to know about the latest trends in human resources. Copilot, I want to know about sales practices and tactics. You see, we establish a goal right away. Context shapes the way we get to the goal. If our goal, for example, were to work with, I don't know, a market analysis, then our context might be to describe which market segment. If our goal were to be able to do research on executive business practices, our context might be to define which practices. Are we talking about standards of business conduct or perhaps executive presence? Sources let us define where the information will be coming from. If we choose not to use sources, the large language model will simply provide us information from whichever sources it happens to have. We may want a specific source. If we are looking at, I don't know, from a human resources perspective, perhaps our goal is to find out how our attrition and hiring rates compare with the rest of the industry. Perhaps we might want information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and we can specify that as a source that we'd like to use. Finally, our expectations define for Copilot what it is that we'd like to see in response. Do we want a table of information? Do we want it in the form of a letter? Do we want it in the form of a report? What is it that we actually want in terms of expectations? Goals, context, sources, and expectations help us write amazing prompts. Now, this is an art form, and it does take some practice. Let me give you an example. I attend a lot of meetings. My calendar seems to be full of them. They oftentimes overlap one another, and it really bothers me when I have to be late for a meeting. However, it happens pretty frequently. Luckily for me, Teams has this function with Copilot where I can say, recap this Teams meeting, whether I was there late or whether I missed the meeting entirely. Now, from a context perspective, I might not want the whole meeting. Maybe I was only 15 minutes late. And so I could say, I was late to attend and I need a brief overview of the project timeline that's been presented so far. Did Adele Vance propose any changes? You see how we've defined a source there? And then include the project timeline in a table and any proposed changes from Adele. This idea of goal, context, sources, and expectations can be put into a single prompt. It can go one prompt, let Copilot take that information and come back and provide me the information live during the Teams meeting. This way, I don't get that weird role where I jump in and ask questions that have already been asked or provide information that's already been shared. I can take a meaningful part in this meeting simply by getting updated. I'm using Microsoft 365 Copilot for Teams. At this point, let's step away from our PowerPoint and let's start a specific use case discussion. Well, it's time for us to talk about corporate executives and Microsoft 365 Copilot. Let's walk through a use case and talk about how an executive might use Microsoft 365 Copilot. When I begin my day, oftentimes my day begins with a review style component with Copilot. Oftentimes I'll use my mobile device or I'll use my laptop to just kind of start my day with what I might have missed overnight, what I might have on the calendar upcoming for the day. And I've actually started to like having conversations with Copilot. And I actually like to begin with Copilot on the desktop of my laptop.
Hey, Chris, how's everything in your world this afternoon?
Well, it's going pretty good. How about yourself?
Nice to hear. I'm just cruising along, eagerly waiting to see where our chat leads us. What's been keeping you busy lately?
Well, you know, I'm an executive at Microsoft, and there's a lot of things on my mind.
Being an executive comes with its fair share of juggling. What's been top of mind for you recently?
Gosh, stock price and the crazy changes that are happening in the world of the AI marketplace.
Yeah, the AI landscape is moving at lightning speed. How do you navigate the uncertainty and keep your team focused amid all the volatility in the market?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's not easy. I'll be open and honest. One of the things that I'm interested in talking about today are your thoughts on future AI opportunities for me as an executive. So what ideas do you have for me to use AI as an executive?
One idea could be integrating AI to streamline operations by implementing an AI-powered dashboard for real-time monitoring of key performance indicators across departments. It could help you spot bottlenecks or trends instantly, enabling more proactive management. Another idea, employ AI for talent management, perhaps using predictive analytics to identify employees with leadership potential. With these insights, you could tailor development programs to nurture future leaders. Which areas of your role do you think could benefit most from an AI boost?
Wow, I love your idea of an AI-based dashboard driving key performance indicator information directly to the executive office. Give me some suggestions on how you might design a solution like that.
Great. To start, I'd recommend defining the specific KPIs you want to track. revenue, employee performance, customer satisfaction, etc. Prioritize those that align with your strategic goals. Next, consider data sources, sales figures, HR metrics, customer feedback, etc. Integrating these into a single platform will give you a comprehensive view. For the actual interface, design it to be visually intuitive. Graphs, heat maps, and alerts for deviations from targets. Incorporate predictive analytics to forecast trends, and perhaps a natural language query option for easier interactions. As a final step, ensure data privacy and compliance with regulations like GDPR or CCPA. Does this spark any insights?
Yeah, I really like what you're talking about here. You know how I feel about stock prices and the way that we drive value to our shareholders. How do you think this might impact that?
With an AI-powered KPI dashboard, you could make faster, data-backed decisions, which could lead to a more agile response to market shifts or shareholder concerns. The ability to pinpoint areas for improvement and act quickly could boost investor confidence, potentially stabilizing stock prices. More reliable performance metrics could also lead to strategic adjustments that drive long-term value for shareholders. Ultimately, it intensifies your ability to showcase a well-oiled operation to the public. How would you prioritize implementing something like this given your current goals?
I think it'd probably come out pretty high on my priority list. Security, obviously.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is crucial. Robust cybersecurity measures should be embedded from the start to protect sensitive data. A proactive approach like regular security audits, encryption.
So I like where this is coming, and I like where it's leading us in terms of opportunities. Can you give me some insights about where you're getting the information? What kind of sources are you using?
My insights come from a broad understanding of common business practices, strategic management principles, and AI technologies. For specific examples, I'm drawing from my general knowledge base, which covers relevant trends and industry standards up to 2023. For your context, it's a blend of general knowledge about KPI dashboards, AI capabilities, and common executive concerns like shareholder value and data security. Anything more specific you're curious about?
Well, so I've been doing some work on executive presence, the gravitas of being an executive, and I would love you to go and check Harvard Business Review and let me know what their top 3 executive presence characteristics might be.
I can access live information, including specific articles or lists from publications like the Harvard Business Review. However, I can tell you that executive presence often involves traits like gravitas. This covers confidence, poise under pressure, and decisiveness. Communication, the ability to articulate ideas clearly and persuasively, and appearance. Not just about dressing well, but also about projecting an image of leadership. These attributes tend to resonate across many executive training programs and literature. What's your take on how these characteristics play out in your role?
They're a really big deal. You know, Copilot, I've loved our 5 minutes together this morning, and you've really helped to spark some ideas in me. I'm going to go ahead and move off to work now. I will chat with you later.
Sure thing, Chris. It's been a pleasure brainstorming. Let's catch up again soon.
Can't wait. Bye now.
Take care.
Now that is how I like to begin my day. Now notice something that happened. When I turn off the microphone, the entire transcript of that conversation has been recorded for me so that I can keep and use it for whatever purpose I might have. Now, I think that there were some great recommendations in that conversation about building personalized KPI-based dashboards for my organization. And so I might want to take this and drag this idea See, I'm just going to copy that idea out, and I'm going to go to my browser, and we're going to start here in Microsoft 365 Copilot in the browser, and I'm going to take this idea that we just discussed in Copilot, and I'm going to use it here in the browser. Maybe I'm going to use it here in the browser. It's going to take me a second. Let's see. Take this, copy that. There we go. Paste that in the browser, and let's get Copilot to work on this. There we go. Now let's start editing this as a page we can share with the rest of the executive team. So in this case, we've got some fantastic ideas about integrating AI for real-time monitoring, talent management. I like those. I'm real interested in the predictive analytics piece. So let's get some, what are some ways to implement predictive analytics for employee development? See how Copilot is automatically building prompts for me based on what it thinks I might want? And in this case, it's exactly right. What are some ways to implement predictive analytics for employee development? Skill gaps, personalized development plans, employee performance. I love all of that. Let's go ahead and edit it in Pages. See how I'm just building more and more and more here? The rest of my executive team can start to add their own insights and their own information. We can collaborate together, and we can move very, very quickly through this process of building a AI-based KPI personalized dashboard. Let's move from here into Microsoft Word. If we're going to do this personalized KPI dashboard, I assume it's cost a little bit of money, and we're going to need approval from our board of directors. And so let's start a blank document here in Microsoft Word. Copilot meets us where we are, and here is our Copilot icon. We're going to use Draft with Copilot, and we're going to say, we would like to write a business proposal for a personalized KPI dashboard for the executive team. And let's go ahead and generate that. And we'll get started with a basic overview. Now, Microsoft 365 Copilot knows what we worked on. And so, therefore, can start to pull a little bit of information here from our conversations. Now, this has been written as a proposal letter. And that's not exactly what I want. And so, instead of keeping it, I'm going to say, write this as a business plan, not a letter. And we'll let Copilot go back and rewrite this and try again. Now, see, I like this better. And it has written it as a business plan. Now, most of the things that I see here, I like. However, there's nothing here about benefits that I can see, right? There's projected outcomes. Let's go ahead and keep this. And before we get to projected outcomes, let's add a new section. And let's add a cost-benefit analysis. And we'll go ahead and generate that information. Now, anytime we start working with costs, it's important that you remember that the information that's being generated here is a first draft. And it is very likely that any numbers, unless you provide them, are likely going to be inaccurate. And so I need you to be aware that this is a first draft, and that as the pilot, your job is to go through, refine the draft, and get to the final product. Let's go ahead and keep this. I think it looks quite good. Cost benefit analysis, there's development cost, training cost, maintenance costs, the benefits, better efficiency, decision making, higher ROI, employee satisfaction. I like this. It's a good document. It's 3 pages, about the right length for a simple business proposal. It does not have any of the tables or timelines. Perhaps we ought to add a little bit of that. Let's use Copilot one more time. Create a table of timelines and milestones for the project. And let's go ahead and generate those, and we'll put those in. And there we go. Requirements gathering in month 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this case, it looks like they're proposing a 5-month timeline for this project. We could change that. We could make it different, or we could leave it the way that it is. I think I'm happy with this. It seems to be about what I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and move to File, and let's save this. And we'll give it a name, and we'll call it KPI Dashboard BP for Business Plan, and I'm going to save it to OneDrive. Easy enough. At this point, I'm going to move over to Microsoft Outlook because I need to generate a new email and let everybody know about this new business plan for a KPI dashboard that we've come up with today. So I might send to my executive team, but let's have Copilot help us draft this idea. So we're going to say draft with Copilot. What do you want the email to say? We're going to have this email say, we have a, actually, here, let's do this. Let's use the / and let's find this document if we can. So what did we call it? We called it KPI. What do I want the email to say? Team. I would like to have your insights on a new KPI dashboard. Refer to the attachment. Provide feedback. Do it fast. Make it good. Now, I'm not giving it's not a great email, right? Team, I'd like to have your insights. Refer to the attachment, provide feedback, do it fast, make it good. That's not a good email. Luckily, Microsoft 365 Copilot can take what I'm saying and write it very nicely. Hope this email finds you well, reaching out to gather your valuable insights on a new KPI dashboard that I've been working on. Attach the document for your review. That's actually really good. Yeah, that's really good. I'd like it to be a little bit longer. All right, let's make this just a little bit longer, create a little bit more of a sense of value through length. And I'd also like to make it like I wrote it. Now, in order for Microsoft 365 Copilot to do that, it's got to go look at my emails, which is already done. So life is good. See, I hope you're doing well. It knows that I never say, I hope this finds you well. I'm interested in your thoughts. In particular is one of my words. You'll notice I say that on a regular basis. It's got it. That's what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to go ahead and say, keep it. I can add the attachment. there's the, oh, let's look at OneDrive. And let's go to files. Let's see if we can find our, did I not close that? I didn't. Here, let's just do this. Let's just copy a link to the document, and that way we can share it to everybody. There we go. Yeah, I like that. I like to put my links early on in the message, sometimes just right after the salutation, and then a simple subject line, and it's ready to go. So it took us all of about 2 minutes to create that email and have it ready for distribution, and I think it's good. And I think it's good. I'm not going to send this out to my executive team. In the real world, they don't want to see a demonstration email coming from me about a KPI dashboard. You might actually take that step, right? You might actually send it to your organization. Let's do a couple of more things. As an executive, your day likely revolves very quickly if you're anything like mine. I honestly receive all kinds of documents throughout the course of a day, and I'm expected to be able to analyze those documents and talk about them in meetings. I've received this document, the A-Datum 5-year financial results, and it comes in the form of a table that looks like a copy out of an Excel spreadsheet. What am I supposed to do with this? I've got a meeting coming up in 15 minutes, and I need to be able to talk smartly about this data. Well, Copilot has an analysis tool, and we're going to use the analysis tool to help us understand. So I'm going to say, summarize this doc in 5 key points. And we'll let the M365 Copilot analyze the document and look at information on the document. So in this case, you can see revenue growth has shown fluctuations over the years, notable increases in 21 and 22. Gross profit margins have varied with a significant increase in 2020 and a peak in 2023. Net income has been improving. Total assets and liabilities have fluctuated, but 2023, our total liabilities have gone down, so our equity is going up. 73,000 in 2023, 90,000 in 2022. That's not what I had hoped for. I'd hope we would see that go the other direction. So let's ask some different questions. Tell me more about the gross profit margin. Microsoft 365 Copilot's already populating the questions that I should ask. The gross profit margin in this case, we're seeing the margin go 22, 43, 35, 37, 47. With one outlier in 2020, it looks like our profit margins continue to rise, rise, rise. So let's ask, what was the possible cause of the outlier for gross profits in 2020? Let's see what we get. The revenue was 82,000, which was lower. The cost of goods sold decreased significantly in 2020 by a couple of $1,000s. The reduction of cost of goods sold, despite the lower revenue, means I got a higher gross profit margin. So for whatever reason, it looks like in 2020, I was able to produce goods for less money And that difference drove a better profit margin, right? It drove a better profit margin for us. Now, at this point, I'm ready for this meeting. I understand what the spreadsheet is saying. I know the details. I can now talk about them in confidence, comfortably able to see and understand the data. How long did it take us? About 5 minutes. I've still got 10 minutes left for the meeting. Now, if we wanted, we could dive into this in more detail, but I don't think it's necessary. I think you understand how an executive could use something like a document with Copilot's analysis to get deep understanding. You know, one of the things that I often end up doing as an executive is a lot of work with individuals. Individual people make a big difference. And the presentations that I make to individuals oftentimes have a big impact on the organization and its direction. Let's go ahead and close our Outlook. Let's close up some of the stuff that we've got open here, and let's move to a presentation. We talked about building a KPI dashboard, customized, personalized KPI dashboard. Let's go to PowerPoint now, and let's build the presentation using the document that we created so that we can have a presentation to share with individuals. Now, let's create a presentation using the geometric annual presentation design. We'll pretend that this is one of our corporate templates, and we're going to say create. Once we're here, Copilot meets us where we are, so we're going to create a presentation from a file. And the file that we're going to work with is the file that we just created. Let's go to Files, and there it is. KPI Dashboard Business Plan. So let's use the KPI Dashboard document, and we'll turn Microsoft 365 Copilot loose to build a PowerPoint presentation for us. Now, we've chosen a corporate template, and Copilot knows that, and it wants our permission to make changes to the template. So we're going to say yes. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to change the template layout and design. It's just going to change, like in this case, the words basic presentation are going to get the title of our presentation. Now, it does take a good solid minute or so to create an entire PowerPoint presentation with its speaker notes. Now, we look at this, and it's got the right look and it's got the right feel, but I don't particularly love it. It is a great first draft, but I want to do a little bit of additional work to kind of clean it up and get the look and the feel to be exactly what I want. And so let's go to File, and let's first save this. And we're going to call this one KPI Dashboard. And we'll save that in OneDrive. And now we can start working with the presentation through the use of Designer. So if we were to go to Home and find the ribbon, all of the functionality that you're used to in PowerPoint still works. Now, this is a business proposal. So I want to move to something like this. Now, I don't love the way the white lettering disappears on this particular background. And I might hand this off to one of my assistants and say, clean this up so it looks great. But you can see that Designer is very good at picking a layout and a look and feel that's going to be great. Now, in this case, I don't like agenda at the bottom. I like agenda to be up here. I would really like agenda to be a little bit cleaner. Oh, I love that executive summary. That's nice. It's got the look and the feel. Although it would be nice if we had an image here. You know, it would be nice if we had an image of a KPI dashboard. What if we went to Copilot and we asked Copilot, can you create an image of a cool KPI dashboard? Copilot in the Microsoft 365 space has access to DALL-E as part of the GPT large language model. So not only will it generate text, we can also generate images that in this case we could add directly to a presentation. Let's see what DALL-E comes up with in terms of a nice KPI dashboard. We'll wait for just a moment. Wow, that is stunning. I'm not sure whether I like this one, or this one better. Let's go with this one. We're a high-tech company, and I think our customers might appreciate this. In this case, the customers would be the board of directors. Let's go ahead and turn Copilot off, and we'll go back to Designer, and we'll get Designer to help us make this look better. Let's see, no design ideas for this slide, really. I guess I'll have to try and make it look better. And I think that actually doesn't look so bad. So there's a nice slide for the executive summary. We've got a nice KPI dashboard. And we'll go through and we'll finalize this. But I think we've got a good presentation. Now, we've been working together for a good solid 20 minutes. In that time, we worked with Copilot in a conversation to identify opportunities for our business to create a personalized KPI dashboard, which may change the way that we make business decisions going forward. We moved into Copilot in the browser, and we started to work through the details of what that personalized KPI dashboard might contain, how it might benefit us. We created a shared page where the executive team can start to share their ideas. We moved from there to Microsoft Word, where we worked through some information building a business plan proposal for this KPI dashboard. I had to take a little side note or side turn there to go and prepare for a short meeting and analyze 5 years worth of A-Datum's business data to get some cool insights that I could use in the meeting. Then we transferred our attention back over to the presentation mode, where we generated the PowerPoint slides, the speaker notes, and a custom image to use in the presentation that we'll build for the board of directors. That's a lot in 20 minutes. At the beginning of this session, I mentioned to you that Microsoft's mission was to empower every person in every organization on the planet to achieve more. Microsoft 365 Copilot will empower every executive in your organization to achieve more. I hope you've enjoyed learning about Microsoft 365 Copilot and how it can make your executives more productive, more creative, and more collaborative. It's been a pleasure working with you. I hope to work with you again soon.
All right, everybody. Thank you for your patience on that. That was a lot of information, and it gave you the opportunity to sort of see exactly the functionality that Copilot offers. And hopefully that answers some of the questions that you have on just what Microsoft Copilot can do, realizing that it is also on your desktop right now. So there's nothing to buy. You actually have it right there. You can start trying it out right as soon as we get done. So Megan mentioned the smart, if you go to the Prompt Vault, the Prompt Vault Studio, you'll see we have this little smart cut here. And this is what it looks like when you download it. It turns into a little PDF, effortlessly creating buyer personas and ICPs. And this is what the page looks like. So basically it gives you your little prompt right here. And so I just went ahead and filled it in for my business. And so I was, my business type is that I'm an AI implementation, execution, and consultancy specializing in training C-suite executives and their organizations on generative AI, ChatGPT, and Microsoft Copilot. And there's our business USP, the kind of clients that we serve, our business goals, and the description of the products and the services. And so I decided, instead of running the prompt through, which you don't see Copilot there, I thought, well, let's go ahead and run it through Copilot. And so this is what it did, was I ran it through Copilot, and it gave me some information. And so let's see if there we go. So it starts to give me, so my German Shepherd's getting a little impatient with me here. So this is the information that it gave me, and I liked it. I didn't get a chance to, that prompt's name is, it is called Copilot, ICP, and Buyer Personas. Okay. Yeah, I know. So with I didn't get a chance to run this through, and I will run it through ChatGPT and kind of compare it and sort of see what it does comparatively. ICP information is accurate for what we do, and the buyer personas information also. I like what I saw. I can go down. So what I did do was I said, so what's the difference in the market between ChatGPT and Copilot as far as a market for us to sell to? And it gave me a nice little breakdown of what the differences were between ChatGPT and Copilot. And I like it because it didn't really kind of, it wasn't like leaning toward one or the other. It just gave me a real straight shot here on what strengths and weaknesses were for each one. And that was that was good. I mean, I liked it. I'll use some of this information, but I like that I can also take each one of these parts and run it right down through the rabbit hole to get a whole lot more information. So I think that as far as the tool goes, it's something that you are going to be able to use, no doubt. If you go to the prompt vault, again, it's the Copilot ICPs and buyer personas. There's actually a couple of them. If I go back here, I think there are a couple of Copilots for, there's one for a buyer. I'm sorry, for the authoring, and then one for marketing. Okay. So these are, if you've not got a chance to get inside to join the promptvault.studio, please do so. You'll get all kinds of great prompts in there. You can use them. And again, we could have run that through all the other platforms that were there too. So I appreciate everybody's attention. We covered a lot of good information today. And if you have any, in fact, right now, real quick, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Raise your hand, comments, questions, thoughts. Did this give you a chance to give you more information that maybe changed your mind a little bit about Copilot, or maybe it told you something you didn't know? Anybody sharing thoughts, opinions? I'd appreciate it.
I'll go.
Yeah, Steve. I was expecting you would go because I know
The
that.
dreaded Steve, this naysayer. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm very open to everything. I think that Microsoft is smart, and they're taking little bits of what everybody else has done, and they're just keep adding it into Copilot to make it better.
Yeah.
What I'm struggling with is, being a chief AI officer in training, how many things can you actually get really good at?
You can't.
In a short
You
period.
can't, and you know that. That's why you have to specialize. I talked about in the forum. I think the real secret to this. Let me answer Christy's question real quick. It is $20 a month for the Pro version, $30 a month for the Enterprise version. In my opinion, what you need to do is you focus in on a niche and become a very good expert in that niche, right? Go a mile deep in that niche versus an inch on a bunch of them. So find your niche, find your market, and serve that niche. I think that there are enough people out there that are going to be able to, I mean, if you think about who all has Microsoft and what companies use it already, whether they use it formally or not, they still may use it. Who's the opportunity here? And, they're not worried about, it's so funny. They're not worried about Word or Excel being AI. Like, when you talk to some companies about ChatGPT, they get, I don't know about, I'm a little freaked out about this AI thing. But you talk to them about Copilot in Microsoft or Copilot in Excel and what it can do, all of a sudden their mind gets really open. I mean, they're realizing you can show them functionality in there and pull stuff out that they didn't have before. So I think it's a matter of deciding which lane you want to get in, stay in that lane. Now, when you start to grow, hire somebody else to become the specialist for that lane and another person for that lane, and always knowing that there's a market there.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts, opinions, comments? Otherwise, we are wrapped in today. We are done.
So Wayne, quick question. This is Rajiv. So Microsoft Copilot, is that, geared more towards the business users or more towards all the users?
Well, all the users being anybody in a business, yes. I think you sort of decide. I think they're wisely moving toward being business oriented. But hey, if you're in business and you're an individual, guess what? You could use this for all kinds of things. And so there are some other videos I've seen of people just doing all kinds of personal stuff on it. And I think it's up to your whatever the limit in your mind is. That's what it's going to do.
Got it. Okay, makes sense. Yep.
All right, everybody. It's 3:02. I appreciate it. Feel free to, I will upload rather, this, what I've got. And also I did include, I will give you, they included a prompt directive, kind of how you do prompts for Copilot, that it all applies for everything. So I will make sure I upload that. But if you have any questions, reach out to me in the forum and be happy to talk about it. Okay. You guys have a great Monday. And if you're joining us Wednesday, we look forward to talking to you then. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Have
you.
a